Why, hello everybody, welcome, my name is Rubydung, welcome to today's episode. As you can see, I'm over here at the main base, a little bit above it, actually. Just a few blocks above the highest part of the base. Typically, I'm at the old build limit here, 128. In which case, you may have noticed that I put out a whole bunch of stone going off into the distance in each of the cardinal directions. That is because I have done some outlining for a big project, a very big project. Now you might be wondering, what kind of project? You're just kind of saying a bunch of words here. You're not telling us what the project is. Well, and I'm not going to wind up doing this in only today's episode. This is going to be kind of a thing that I do for the future. Something that may be kind of known. I think I've expressed this very heavily. I don't like mining in this world. Particularly, I don't like strip mining. So, to counteract my hatred to doing that, I am going to begin a mining project. Now, that might seem a bit redundant. If I don't like mining projects, then why? If I don't like mining in the game, why would I want to do a mining project? Well, that's because I need resources. I don't need it, but I would prefer to have a project that I can work on for when I need to mine. So that way I'm not just having to mine off in random locations. Because I was having to do that for a while. Then I was like, you know what? I need the slime farm. I'm going to mine out a slime farm. Did all of that. And today, I outlined what is this whole area up here. This, I am hoping to be the dig site. Now you might be wondering, your base is on this. Not on top, not only that, but like there's a bunch of terrain around here that's kind of like crucial to the base, kind of. It makes no sense to get rid of it. I'm not getting rid of it. I'm going to mine under it. Now, you might be wondering, what? Why? Well, there's two reasons. Number one, I have some projects that are going on that it would be nice to have a bit of an underground area to this whole base. Number two, this whole world is not lit up, basically. I've done practically no caving. I have done caving, but like not enough of it. Not even remotely enough of it. And number two, I kind of want to move these beacons that are here on the surface to lower ground, because beacons work at any Y level, but only work so low, but they work as high as you want, as long as you can see these beams, basically, which go on forever. But yeah, that is the basics of what I'm planning here. And what this is a cross-section of where I was planning on basically how big I want the mining project to be. Now, this isn't going to be a big thing that's spanning multiple episodes. I'm probably going to have a haste beacon and move it every once in a while. Basically, try to clear out certain areas, and I am going to mine a certain amount of blocks below the surface. So, I just need to figure out where I want the starting Y level to be. Now, I'm basically going to be mining out through this entire section. And this cross-section here was basically me getting an idea of if this encompasses the entire base, which it does. It's very close in some areas, but over on that area, it's completely fine. Because spawn is so close to that particular section. While if I wind up heading this direction, which is probably the biggest bulk of the base. By the way, I really love the look up here. I'm kind of considering doing something up here so that way I can see the whole base below, because I think this looks amazing. I think this is such a cool look for the base, but I don't know what I'm going to wind up doing up here. But if I head all the way out here, in which case you can see the little end of the platform. Aha, this actually ends not too far off from the rest of the base itself, and I'm building this around spawn. So that way, because spawn is directly next to the mob farm, I could build this around the mob farm, but I'm designing this around spawn. I care about this being around spawn. Now, there's going to be a few things that I do have to keep in mind here. One, I'm going to try preserving particular areas in the base that I feel are historically important underground. Now, there's probably going to be only a handful of those. There's not too many, but in the event I run into any, I'm going to try preserving them, because something that I feel is important in this world is history, context, like stuff that I've made. I don't like getting rid of stuff, because if I get rid of it, it's gone. It's gone forever. If you get rid of it, you can't bring it back. And if you do, it's a lot of work. So I don't like getting rid of stuff. So anything that I find that is particularly old, I'm going to try keeping. In which case, something that I'm going to have to kind of plan around is my first ever project in this world, in which case if I head all the way down this direction and into like the mines kind of, well, if I jump down this little stairway right here and drop into the little water thing and head down here, so this whole area down here is probably going to wind up getting mined out, but more importantly is this older project, which I am curious as to what I'm going to do about this, because this is the first ever project I've had in the world, and I don't want to just bulldoze it. This is the first ever project, so the center area here might kind of get left, because kind of like one of the older projects, this here can just go, like, this is, no one cares about this. This never worked, ever. Because this is my old slime farm. The new slime farm is already, like, in the significantly shorter period of time I had it, already produced significantly more slime balls than this thing ever did. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure what to do with this area down here, because this is my first ever project. This is the first ever one I had in the world. So do I just, like, cast around it? Do I just kind of like, okay, I am going to dig around this area? Maybe I, like, put some glass around it or something? I'm not sure yet. I'm just kind of, like, spitballing ideas. If you guys have something that you can think of, then I'd love to hear it, but I have zero clue what I can wind up doing with this thing. But now what I'm going to start doing is I have to run all the way back up, and I think I already have a designated depth that I'm going to be digging at. Alright, did a little bit of digging and some excavating and some looking around, and I think this is going to be the level that I am digging at. So I'm going to be starting here at about 54, and then digging all the way down to bedrock level. Already did some lighting all the way down there, as I'm going to slowly trudge my way up here. Probably going to design a better way up, or at least dig out the sand or something, because as you may see, I just barely make my way out of there. But yeah, that is going to be the approximate level that I am digging at. Now, you might be wondering, why would you be interested in digging at level 54? That's, like, a little high up. Well, I'm planning on digging 54 and down, okay? Why 54 and down? Well, I want to empty out everything, and that includes every single cave. Every single cave is going to be located at that point, unless it's like a 3-block cave or so. Well, why going 54 down? Why not start at, like, 63? Because that's where, like, the floor here is. This is at the actual ground level. Well, I don't want to ruin all of my ocean topography, and one of the biggest things here is the sand. So you might notice, oh, there's a bunch of sand everywhere. Well, the sand only goes a certain amount down before it stops being sand. That's just how generation used to work, because it just converts to dirt after a certain level. It just turns into dirt. In which case, okay, how do I do that now? Well, dirt starts at about this level here, which is about 4 blocks below coast. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I were to push up my F3 menu and do the looking at, that's at about level 59. So, the level that I'm digging at, level 53 or so, somewhere around there, 54, 53, somewhere around that range. That should be enough that I'm not going to wind up disturbing any of the sand here and having it fall in while I am digging. So I just have to worry about the, like, gravel pockets and stuff that I'm going to be running into. Now there might be some gravel that's, like, here on the surface that spans all the way down there. That's inevitability. I already accepted that. But that's not going to be the thing that I'm worrying about. I'm mainly worrying about getting all the caves out, because once all the caves are out, then my farm is going to be very interesting, because it's going to be a lot better. Also, I can just wind up building an underground farm as well. I could just make some significantly better farms and stuff. I already have, heck, I can turn that farm that's all the way down there at the very bottom of the world. I actually could get that operational. Heck, I could turn the entire bottom of this world into a farm. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. But I need to still dig out the perimeter for that area, and I also want to, like, upgrade my way up and down a lot more. So I am probably going to wind up, as I'm going to head all the way down here, I'm probably going to wind up digging out these areas to span out in each of the directions that I know is going to be the maximum of this border, which is 200 blocks in each direction from this block right here. So I'm going to get started on those individual tunnels, and hopefully I won't run into any sand or water problems, because if I do, that means I'm probably going to need to lower this platform down by an extra level or so. So I'm going to begin doing that amount of measuring, and I'll get back to you guys, hopefully, with that figured out. Okay, I've done some digging around here. The space is nice and lit up, and as you may see, the little tunnels now extend off into the distance. They go all the way to the edges that I outlined up in the sky. And you may also notice this area is a bit lower. I had to dig this area out 1 block deeper because it was just 1 block little too less. So I decided to dig it out. And yeah, I think this is a lot better. Probably going to wind up filling in the roof here with these blocks here. Now you might be wondering why bother with that. Merely because I just actually want this thing to be nice and even, kind of. Now, I could probably just have this area be uneven, like, it doesn't need to be, like, there's no benefit to me doing this, but it's aesthetics. Things look better when you care about that. So, just filling this in very quickly with the actual blocks, though, yeah, that's probably enough for now. But now that I have each of these directions nice and carved out, I can begin spacing out where I'm going to be, like, digging out an area, installing a beacon, and then I can dig out one chunk of an area, and then the next chunk, and then the next chunk, and the next chunk, and basically just move down the line for this whole thing. And because this is a 200 by 200, a beacon should cover approximately, if I remember correctly, about a 50 block area, meaning that I will have to move the beacon a few times, because that there will be a 50 block area, and then another 50 block area, then another 50 block, another 50 block. So that basically means that this is a 4 by 4 area if I optimize this properly. So about a 4 by 4. Now there's going to be some areas where the beacon's going to be a little offset because I have buildings in the way. But yeah, that means that based off of what I am making here, I either am going to have to move a beacon approximately 16 times, or I get 16 beacons. You can guess which one I'm gonna do. One's significantly cheaper, and technically, if I really wanted to, I could do my nether project that also is a massive digging project that I really should be working on. But I'll do it at some point. The problem is I've just, oh my gosh, it's so much work. And so is this. This one's supposed to be a lot more casual, and I'm supposed to be able to get a lot better resources out of it. Because for the other one, it's just netherrack. The nether one's just netherrack, so I'm really not inspired to do that, because why do I want netherrack? I don't use netherrack for anything. But stone, you use stone for everything. And then I also can wind up getting coal and, I guess, iron, but more importantly, things like once I get the lower levels, like redstone and gold and diamonds, like, this could be so nice. And also, this would be a pretty noticeable mark on the base, and that's always a pretty good thing. Not always, but, like, that could always be nice, is having a good, large project to work on, even if it is something that, like, isn't going to be super effective, but I think this is going to be a pretty affecting scale. So now what I'm wanting to do, kind of weirdly enough, is using these little in-between areas, do some space out kind of stuff, and put in the beacon that I am going to be using for the first chunk, which I'm thinking about trying to think of a good location that would be a good start. And I'm actually thinking about starting a little ways away from the base, kind of. Like, for example, once I get all the way up here, I'm thinking about starting off in that direction. Because I don't really have too much built out there, so I can do all of the experimental chunk mining as I want. And also, by doing it this way, by having the chunks mined out in this particular format, I'm not going to wind up having to move the beacon a whole bunch of times. I will clear out one area, and then move the beacon to the next area, and to the next area. And I'll just clear out these chunks as I need the resources. Though, For that, I'm going to need a much better bulk storage area, because something that you guys probably noticed is from me clearing out that chunk all the way over there, if I run all the way to the main base, you might be thinking, oh, you probably just have all the stone you got from up there stored up in bulk storage. I didn't even pick up all the stone from that, and all of these chests are sitting all the way down here. Now, I did use quite a bit of stone on the little thing all the way up there, but still, like, I have a whole bunch of resources that just don't fit anywhere, so I'm gonna have to design a new bulk storage system just to put all of these resources in, so gonna have to do some design for that now. Alright, after a whole bunch of building, I have put up the full perimeter, so it's no longer just a bunch of lines in the sky. These out here should be the edges at which I will be constructing the underground facility? Underground mine? I'm not sure what to call this, but as you can see, there is plenty of area that can be mined out, these large mountains, for example, and this is about where I'm going to be starting. I just need to find 50 blocks in this direction, 50 blocks in that direction, and then boom, beacon will go down right somewhere in that area. And then I will be able to mine out a 100 by 100 area, and then I just have to copy and paste that over to the next section, and then I do that, and then I have the first half of this quadrant, and then I just have to decide, do I want to do row by row, or do I want to do quadrant by quadrant? Because each quadrant has 4 areas, and each row is about 4 long, with each column being about 4 long. It's equal distance across always, so because this is functionally 200 from the center, meaning that this is about a 400 by 400 cube. So this is a very interesting space because of that, but I should be able to go through and do some mining for that. So I just need to get the beacon set up, do 50 by 50 in, and put the, dig a 2 by 2 tunnel, dig out the area where the beacon will go, put that in, and then zoop, mine all the way back up. And then, I can just mine my way all the way through there. I'll just have to do a little bit of a weird thing where I'll have to mine all the way in here. Also, I could just do some special. It doesn't matter, because I'm going to be probably doing a lot of this mining off camera. That swamp area stands out so much on the side of my screen, because it goes from, like, what is this? This is like, I'm not sure what biome this is, but this is some interesting biome texturing here, just because of how old this world is. But anyways, guys, that's probably going to be doing it for today's episode. I do hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see me do anything in particular, please be sure to tell me. I always love hearing your guys' suggestions. And if you want to see me do anything in particular, I always have a billion projects going on at a given time. And in addition to that, this is a sandbox game, so there's always an infinite number of projects I always can wind up doing. But with all of that now nice and said, that's probably going to be doing it for today's episode. I do hope you guys enjoyed. I'll be seeing you guys here in the next one. So long. See ya. Bye.